the Leprechaun franchise.
Dude. So we gotta start with. Let me just say that some of the most popular actors and actresses and entertainers, if you will, come out of, I don't want to say bad movies, but films that you wouldn't necessarily associate with an A-list entertainer. And the
Jennifer
one and
Aniston.
only Jennifer Aniston got her start. And if I remember correctly, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, she got this because one of her relatives was working on the film, was either director, writer, producer, something. And I think, if I'm wrong,
Yeah, no, somebody throw it out. If they know, let us know.
I have the internet right here and I could look it up, but I'm not going to. But it was something, I believe it was something along those lines. So she got in early in the movie, and, obviously stepping stones came for her, and that led to Friends, and then rest is history. But I always like seeing like origin movies for people. I think it's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody has to start somewhere. Crispin fucking Glover was in Friday the 13th Part 4.
He was.
Kevin Bacon was in the original film. So, I
Johnny
mean,
Depp was in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, these are gifted and renowned entertainers that came from films like this. So I love that. I think that's incredible. The Leprechaun franchise was interesting. We got Warwick Davis, which was great, playing the Leprechaun. I don't think he had a name, or did he? Did he have a name?
I don't know. I think he was just the Leprechaun.
I am going to look that up. And he was trying to get his gold back. And in doing so, he brutally murdered people. And this went on for several different movies. We ended up doing a urban film where we went to the hood, which was probably my favorite one. And then I even think there was an...
Lubidin.
Okay.
Lubdan. I'm messing. I can't pronounce it. I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's how you do it.
And then we did get Leprechaun 4 in space, which I knew that there was this in space, and I remember why I remember it now, because Debbie Dunning was in that. And if you guys remember who Debbie Dunning is, she took over for Pamela Anderson as the model on Tool Time on Home Improvement, where Tim or Al needed something, she would bring it out to them. Yep. That originally had Pam Anderson. She dropped that, went to Baywatch. And so then they picked up Debbie Dunning, and she stayed on for the rest of the season. So when Leprechaun 4 came out in space and she was in it, man, I was all over that. Like 13-year-old John was all over that movie. So
this is a movie where essentially the Leprechaun manifested himself into gonorrhea at one point. Let's not forget that, kids. This Leprechaun used his magical powers to become gonorrhea.
I mean, if you had to pick a venereal disease to manifest yourself as, I mean, what would it be other than gonorrhea? Would you want to be syphilis or chlamydia? Or I
don't even know. I don't even know how to compare that. Like, how do you make that logical jump of, oh, dude, like, hey, dude, if you could be any STD, would you be? Crabs any day of the week. Like, how'd you arrive there?
I guess if you're looking for least invasive way to get rid of the VD, I guess crabs would be, because you just got to shave and put a little, like, cream on it and it's done. But everything else, it's like internal, man. It's more of you got to fight a little bit more to get rid of that stuff.
Yeah, but, and let's not forget, he kind of violently comes out of the person's penis ejaculation style. It sounds like I'm fucking around here, but I'm not. Just watch it. These movies are fantastic. I love that they got crazy. Leprechaun 1, Leprechaun 2, Leprechaun 4, or 3. Leprechaun 4 in space, Leprechaun in the hood, Leprechaun back to the hood, Leprechaun Origins, and then Leprechaun Returns, the reboot. But yeah, so
why do you think not only that they were able to make so many Leprechaun films, but that for the most part, people who enjoy horror films or people who enjoy these type of films really ended up liking them because Leprechaun's like hit or miss, man. It could have been great right out of the gate like it was, or it could have been horrible. But look, when you make a Leprechaun film and you set it in the hood and you get a pre-Law and Order SVU Ice-T to star in your film, you've won me over. Like, I will pay the $2.99 to watch. Well, let's be honest, John's always going to pay $3.99 for high def. But anyways, that's beside. Come on. I mean, we're there now. No one should be paying for standard def unless they just have an old ass TV. Let's just be real. But you've got Ice-T in your Leprechaun film that is set in the hood. You got me. I'm there. I am absolutely there. Just like I'm there for Leprechaun in Space. Just like I'm there for Gonorrhea Leprechaun. Just like I'm there for Jennifer Aniston Leprechaun. So
yeah. And I think one of the biggest things that helped with these movies is how low budget they were. It's easy. It was very easy for a lot of low budget movies to make their money back box office style. Oh, sure. But after the second one didn't do so well, actually, they actually went back to doing everything direct to video, which don't bother me. I like that. No. But I love how Leprechaun 2, here's the title: One Wedding and Lots of Funerals. Like that was the alternative. I
don't remember that tagline at all. I don't now. Leprechaun, the first one, I've seen a bunch of times. Leprechaun in Space, I've seen a bunch of times, and Leprechaun in the Hood, I've seen a bunch of times. But to be honest, I only seen Leprechaun 2 once, and I don't remember that tagline being a part of the film.
I think it was somewhere like in another country or something.
They do that a lot with titles and things like that, especially we learned that from Eric Walker with the Ewok films, how it was going to be Ewok Adventure, but then in Europe it became Caravan of Courage. So, you know.
And with Mel Brooks films, because his first movie was Producers, which has the satirical song Springtime for Hitler, all the sequential movies were Springtime with Chairs, because the second movie was about the silver chairs, then Springtime in the West, Springtime with Frankenstein, Springtime. So everything was Springtime to let you know it was a Mel Brooks movie.
So I'm looking to see if they have a reason for the additional name, and I'm not seeing it without doing more extensive hunting that would cause us to disengage. But
yeah, no.
It just says Leprechaun 2, also known as One Wedding and Lots of Funerals. So I think you're right. It got distributed somewhere else outside the United States. They probably added that tagline.
It was in the UK.
Oh, there we go. Yep.
Yeah, if you go on Amazon Prime, the movie shows up there.
Okay, cool. Yep. So that makes sense. But I do remember, because that came out in 1994, and I do remember that there was negative reception of that because everybody loved the first Leprechaun film. And I mean, look, me and my friends growing up, we watched it, no big deal, type thing. So everybody was hyped for Leprechaun 2, and I remember when it came out, everybody was pissed. They're like, "What the fuck was this movie?" So
yeah, and I think when they went to direct to video, they were starting to have more fun with the character. Like, you made him go to space. You know what I mean? It's like all kinds of
like Jason that was ejaculated from a man's penis.
Yeah.
I mean, right there kind of like caps it off. You can't really, where do you go after that?
Yeah. And I think a lot of times when you allow movies to jump the shark purposely, you get a good movie, in my opinion. Because, like, I'll be honest with you, I love Jason in Space. I fucking love that movie. I'll watch that. I know it's not a great movie, but man, is it not entertaining.
It is extremely entertaining, and it has some of the best kills in the entire franchise.
Yeah. Like, they knew they weren't taking it seriously. They literally made that movie based on the fact of they literally went into the pitch meeting and went like, well, what else are we going to do? That was the pitch.
Dude, and here's the thing, too, is that there's a difference between making a quality sci-fi film and like actually trying and really putting something together. And there's a difference between that and making a fourth franchise film from the Leprechaun set in space. There's totally a difference because you're not out to make a great sci-fi film or make a case as a director or say, hey, I've got this vision. Now give me money and let me make a better version or a different version or a different movie altogether because you trust me now. No. We just said, okay, we know X amount of people are going to love Leprechauns and we know people love space. So let's just go, oh, shit. Yeah, Ted, you came in at the right time, my friend. The right time. Exactly the right time. So, yeah, they were like, dude, fucking set it in space and put the Tool Time girl in there. Guarantee you people will buy it. And they sure fuck did. They did. Leprechaun 4 was a decent film in terms of, like, people's reception to it. And that's how you do it, man. You set it in space, you get the Tool Time girl, you say suspend disbelief on everything else, and everyone's like, oh, wow, this was actually entertaining. And then meanwhile, like, God, that was a terrible movie, but I loved watching it.
I really, honest to God, loved the pitch. I hope that was the pitch meeting. Listen.
Listen.
The Leprechaun, the Tool Time girl in space.
Boom. That was good. Just like the Sharknado films. A guy sat down, drew a picture of a tornado on the whiteboard, and then said this with sharks inside of it. And some executive stood up and was like, we're doing it. We're doing it. Yep. So that's exactly what happened here. He was like, Leprechauns, Tool Time girl, in space. Some guy stood up and was like, make that shit now. So, I mean, you know.
That's it. That's all it takes sometimes. No worries, Dart. Dart's mentioning Daddy Dunham, a.k.a. the Tool Time girl. Exactly. Yep. But again, that's swinging for the fences, and I appreciate that so much. I mean,
love those kind of films. That's what we like to watch.
I mean, that's essentially what is it? Evil Dead did. I mean, Evil Dead it's a spoof on the Lovecraft genre.
But it ended up creating its own genre in the process and elevated itself to the top of that.